checking the ball game for the Cardinals, hitting the screen for Ogden, making the decision to go, kicks it out to Aguera. Aguera off the mark, and Camille Pierre, we mentioned, the nation's leading rebounder, comes up with the board. Trieger, who can take it from the top of the key, and it rattles on.
You hear the disappointment from the crowd because Trieger can definitely knock down that three in the trail spot.
Swinging over in the corner, there's Stevenson for three, can't go. Aguera got a hand on it. It ends up with Trieger pushing it now as Zam Jones left side of the court. She pulls up. Wolfpack 2 for 8 from the floor. And we talked about rebounding and coming in, the importance of trying to grab offensive boards to create second chance opportunities. Thus far, both teams searching for no board as Ogden takes a breather. Shea Ijiwoye checks in. She's guarding Zam Jones. Trieger sees it roll off.
But what do we see? NC State wanted to see now that it's a new year, getting more post touches, and you see them looking early to go to Trieger.
Meanwhile, it's been a balanced scoring attack this season for Stanford. An over-the-back call on Zam Jones, our officiating crew, Joseph Vasily, Fautusa, Seiko Stevens, and Talisa Green.
Here's a mistake that Jones made on the box out. The reach back with one hand. She did everything that she was supposed to do, I believe, with the lower body, but when you reach behind, the officials are going to give the benefit of the doubt to the offense.
Lopolo off the mark there. Jones comes up with the rebound. This group for the Wolfpack, returning two starters. Camille Pierre, that new addition, as we mentioned. The 17-footer falls for Pierre. She's got 4 points. An offensive foul called against Mary Ashley Stevenson, so they hand it right back over.
When you look at the first 10 field goal attempts, 3 from Trieger, 3 from Camille Pierre. She can knock that down right there and establishing the inside game for the Wolfpack.
A player who has such great promise, a late bloomer to basketball, started her junior season of high school, and Pierre just will continue to get better and better, but sails that one over her teammate's head. And timeout taken on the court. Media timeout. We'll step aside here as well. It's now at 6 apiece. ACC women's basketball is presented by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Well, from the upset in the Sweet 16 to last year's regular season, meeting the 6th overall between these two programs. And of course, when you think about NC State, you think about Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers. But when you talked with Wes Moore, he said, look, we are a group that's learning to play without them. And these have been storied programs over the years. Kate Pay even talked about just how this group missed the NCAA tournament last year for the first time in 36 years. Feels like this is a group that can get back to the tournament.
Well, these are two teams that were picked in the top half of the ACC. I think that after you get your first glimpse of ACC action, I think the voters got it wrong. And they picked NC State finishing second and Stanford to finish sixth. So this Stanford team is going to be one to deal with in the ACC.
Coming in at 12-2 overall on the season. They've been perfect on the road thus far. They won chasing a preseason favorite and Duke, North Carolina, and at number 3, Louisville at 4. And sandwiched in there is Notre Dame at 5. Zoe Brooks, who was fouled and will go to the free throw line. Brooks, who coming off a great honor from last game back on December 21st, eclipsing 1,000 points in her career with 14-point effort. And knocked down a huge three-pointer in that win over Davidson.
You talked about the adjustment of playing without Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James. Chloe Brooks has had to make the biggest adjustment because she was a benefactor of this. Much the defense paid attention to Rivers and James. Now, Brooks is the go-to. She's at the top of the scouting reports for her opponents.
Sam Jones, great defense there. Last touch by the Wolfpack guard. Well, we saw on that graphic earlier, Carolyn, this game got off to a very quick start, but since then things have kind of settled down. Stanford was 3 of 4 to start the game, and they're 0 for in their last 5 attempts. Trying to get it inside to Nunu Aguirre. Instead, they push it back out. Under 10 on the shot clock. Aguirre's got to make a move. The trigger in her face, tries to get around. And does so.
Oh, that's a big move. And I'm interested to watch this matchup of the bigs for both teams. Aguirre, off the bounce, is really going to challenge Trigger inside.
Nice pass from Maddie Coxon to Sam Jones, who was cutting to the hoop. Aguirre with 4 points over to Shumpai too long. Jones comes up with the board, pulls it back out, and sets it half court.
NC State being patient because of having Stevens and Trigger, both post players that can score it from the outside to really open up things in the paint.
The turnaround, okay. We see you, Miss Maddie, the junior out of Flower Mound, Texas.
That's Maddie Cox. My bad.
Maddie Cox, who is the younger sister of the WNBA great Lauren Cox. Maddie, who's got experience, was a part of that Final Four team a couple of years ago for the Wolfpack, as that one is drained by Haley Swain. Haley Swain, a part of, again, that top 3 recruiting class for the Stanford Cardinal. She is among the 5-star recruits, a couple of 4-star as well for Cape Bay. A 1-point ball game with just over 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Love how the bigs, they can rebound and bust out on the dribble to get transition started.
An offensive foul called against Courtney Ogden, but let's go back to the other end of the floor.
Look how open the paint is. Sam Jones setting her defender up. And once you commit to going back door, don't hesitate. Go hard, and you can be rewarded. And then the freshman, Haley Swain, from long distance. That's what the Cardinals need to open up things inside.
Haley Swain with big expectations with her coming in. Near a double-figure score. Her speed and quickness on the defensive end, and she's picking up and putting ball pressure on Jones right now. High ceiling for this young lady.
Man, did she look good against Tennessee? She had 14 points in that one.
Take just off, but there's Trigger to turn it up. Tilda Trigger on the boards, hard the offensive rebound. And listen to this crowd inside Reynolds Coliseum, loving the effort on the other end from Maddie Cox.
Wes Moore talked about the improvement of Maddie Cox, limited minutes in her early career, but now she has been able to really step things up, bringing it on the defensive end now in her junior year.
And on the scouting report, you got to look at 3 offensive fouls now for Stanford. So you see this Wolfpack team willing to give up their bodies and get in position. Cox, who had that nice assist to Jones a couple possessions before. Here's Brooks, crossover, finds Cox. Pump fake, comes in a little bit closer and knocks it down. Okay, Maddie Cox, she's ready to play.
You can see how comfortable Maddie Cox is on the floor and playing with great confidence. Real smart move on that shot fake.
Jay Ijiwoye. Good jump, picks up the dribble. Alex Eschmeyer, number 4 in. To Shumpai. No, and trying to hold up that rebound with the high hands was Candace Samuels. On the floor is Trigger. And I tie-up, jump ball, possession arrow goes with the Wolfpack. So Maddie Cox just making her minutes count.
But I love the read. She sees the defense flying out her and keeps her feet set until that ball hits the deck, not to get the travel, and then rises so smooth into that mid-range.
4 points in 4 minutes for the junior. Brooks split the fingers. This is what she does ever so well, but the offensive foul is right there. It's Lapolo.
Now Lapolo gets both feet down before Brooks is able to leave the floor. Help rotation. So big for the Cardinal. That's what you got to do when you've got guards on the floor like Zoe Brooks and Zam Jones that can take you off the dribble. You've got to respect them from the perimeter, but you also have to be ready to defend them off the bounce.
A lot of contact on the block as Eschmeyer, who was fighting for position with the arm wrapped around Cox. And another offensive foul, 5th now for the Cardinal in this first quarter. Correction, 4th for the Cardinal on the offensive foul side of things. Kate Pay's group trailing by 5.
So now Eschmeyer and Mary Ashley Stevenson having to hold it down inside.
Nice take inside for Zoe Brooks. And Brooks, again, that's where she's dangerous. You pull back the in, and E.G. Royer off the mark, and that takes us to the close of the first quarter. A 7-point lead after 1 for NC State, who's opening at home in 2026 against the Cardinals.
NC State has extended to a 7-point lead, and a lot of it has to do, after the first time out, they only had 2 points in the paint. Since they've had 6. They had Zoe Brooks leaving the lane open, allowed to drive, and then getting on the offensive boards by Tilda Trigger. I think that going into the paint will really open up shots on the perimeter, but one of the things Wes Moore wanted his team to continue to do was be aggressive to the rim.
Aggressive, they have been 3 players with 4 points, including Trigger, who's taking a breather to start this second quarter. Camille Pierre back on the floor for the Wolfpack, along with a new face in Destiny Lumen, aka Kai Shi. Kai Shi got a piece of that one. She brings it up the floor. The freshman out of Goodyear, Arizona. So the Arizona tie between Pierre and Lumen. Brooks. No. Pierre again. The rebound, creating second chance opportunities. 3rd O board for the Wolfpack. And she gets position. The turnaround fade away. And just short.
It's one of the things Stanford's going to have to work on is trying to keep Camille Pierre off the glass, specifically on the offensive end. She averages about 4 O boards a game.
Shooter by Shafai. It's on the shot clock. Little runner there. Won't go.
A lot of one-on-one by Stanford trying to create shots. They got to trust the offense and move the ball. One of the things Kate Pay said she wanted to improve on assist-to-turnover ratio.
Pierre loses the handle on that one. Shumfai coming out, leading the way in transition. Too strong, but coming up to get that one is Aguera. She wanted that basketball, and she got it. Lulu Aguera, the junior out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, averaging just about 9 boards a game. 6th best in the conference.
I think Stanford wants to pick up the pace of this. They get about 19, almost 20% of their points in transition.
Shumfai spots up for 3 and knocks it down. Shumfai just so versatile. The freshman who was born in Hungary and then later moved to Australia at 3 years old.
But the maturity you see from Shumfai is her experience with the Australian national team. Finishes with both hands, can extend the floor.
And answering back the other way is Maddie Cox. And Maddie Cox leading the way for the Wolfpack in all scores now with 7. She is a perfect 3 for 3 from the floor.
You look at Maddie Cox, she can shoot it. She's 46%, 38% from the three-point line.
Ogden, hard stop, pulls up, yes. Courtney Ogden, we talked about just the run that she's had over the last handful of games, had a pair of 20-point games, including career-high 25 in the ACC openers and win over Cal. Traveling violation, and they hand it back. We're going back to Courtney Ogden, the junior who's been shining in her starting role.
Well, Stanford needs Ogden to really step things up because remember, they're playing without Chloe Clarity, and that's about 12 points a game that the Cardinal are missing.
Clarity, who did not make the trip out for a second game due to illness. She's fouled, but again, looking at just the balanced scoring that we have seen from the Cardinal this season, even with Clarity out, you've got Aguera, Shamfai, Ogden all in double figures, Swain flirting with it as well.
Well, and Clarity with 11.8, that's coming in off the bench and contributing about 30 minutes a game for Stanford.
And when you think about Clarity, a player who could be starting on some rosters across the country, but she's provided that nice spark for Kate Pay and this Cardinal team.
Well, Clarity had to start last year, and she had to start at the point because remember, Apollo simply played in 5 games last year before she went down with injury. So that's like a 6th starter that Stanford would have if Clarity was here.
We trim the lead down and a 1-point ball game in favor of the Wolfpack. Another 3rd win in a row here at home. And the scoop layup in from Zoe Brooks. Brooks, who is just so tough to defend, especially when she creates off the bounce.
Well, that's Zam Jones, the sophomore, but they look alike and can contribute in the same way off the bounce. And they're really adjusting to fill the shoes of Rivers and James. That 1-2 punch in the guard spot, and now with the addition in the post makes NC State hard to defend.
Kick out to Aguera. No. Cox comes up with it, and I like to call Zam Jones Zoe Brooks the Z squared. So thank you for having my back, partner.
Gotcha.
Over to Jones. Sophomore out of Greenville. Top 10 in the ACC. The assistant to her assist and scoring. That one pops out for her.
I mean, that was all halfway down before it came out. Last 6 games, Zam Jones has been averaging over 17 points a game. She's been that offensive punch. You got to respect Jones from the 3, but she is so crafty in getting by the defense and then the extension around the taller players to get the finish.
Ogden kicks out. No. Here's Maddie Cox. Maddie Cox, who has just been all over the floor tonight and impacting just off the mark. The Stanford team who has really tested itself this season. A couple of wins against some major conference teams. 12 foes in Washington, who was ranked at the time, Oregon. Shamfai, Haley Swain, who have been such a big part of that recipe for success for the Cardinal.
But you look how the Cardinal have gotten back into this game. How did NC State start the game? Post touches. They've gone to a more guard-oriented offense, and missed shots has allowed Stanford to get right back in this thing.
Devin quickly thought about it. Here's Jones trying to probe this defense. And a whistle on the floor and a stoppage in play momentarily. And we'll get a better explanation as play was interrupted as we come back here to Raleigh. Nut Hill, where there was a stoppage on the floor. There was a clock violation that just paused in the middle of play. You see it stopped there at 4:49 on the game clock. So everything's cleaned up. 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock at 4:44, and quickly in and off the mark for Tilda Triga. A back and forth affair, and Stanford, who has really kind of found the rhythm here in this second quarter.
But the efficiency offensively, they've been able to get the shots that they want. They've been very patient there to get the ball inside to Aguera, who's able to finish.
And the lead taken by Stanford. And it's been Aguera and Shumfai in this second quarter. We've scored 9 of the 13 points here in this period alone for the Cardinal.
Did you see where NC State has changed? They went back to how they started this game, and that was playing through their post with Trigger and Camille Pierre instead of the guards kind of trying to create their own shots.
Well, Wes Moore, who has traditionally kind of played more of a 4 guards out, 1 in, said he was going to switch things up a little bit, and obviously when you've got Trigger and Pierre, you could do a little bit more.
Look, you got to understand the ACC, it's a guards league. You talked about Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame and some of the other top guards, but you've got to have post players who can contribute if you're going to rise to the top of the conference.
Over. It's Ogden who loses the handle and turns it over. This is the little area where NC State has taken advantage of the turnovers from Stanford in this game. They've got 7 total. And a traveling violation, so they hand it right back over to the Cardinal.
We talked about the adjustments. Zoe Brooks looking for an opportunity every time she touches the ball to go score because she can. But she's got to get her puppies lined up before she takes off.
Zoe Brooks, who has been a fixture here for the last 3 years for this NC State program. Just getting around the perimeter in the hands of Aguera. To Swain, the freshman, who is fouled. A little handsy there from Lunan, and she's called and whistled for the personal foul.
Yeah, both these teams like to play off the ball, screen action. There's got to be communication. The post got to call it early to let the guards know they got to get over or go under, but that communication is key.
Wes Moore having some words on the sideline on the inbound here. Jiwoye, who Kate Pay says brings her energy each and every day. Practice, games, no matter what. Looking for somewhere to go. Ogden trying to track it down. And now the 8th turnover for the Cardinal, an area of concern, or what we talked about earlier with Kate Pay and making sure they take care of the basketball.
There's got to be patience because both these teams are top defensively. So exercising that patience. Look, this game is key. These are teams that are both in the top 30 in net. Look, their resume building for the postseason.
Absolutely, as Kaishi Lunan knocks it down. The freshman with her first points of the game, and that ended a 4-minute drought for the Wolfpack, who grabbed the lead back. Garrett nearly lost the handle. Cardinal keeping up with it. 6 to go on the shot clock. The take from Swain, and that one was deflected and blocked. Stolen away. Great eyes by the Polo. Coming in for a streaking Ijiwoye, who has it smacked down by Trigger. A lot of action action in a fury of seconds as Trieger, who had the ball back, stolen away.
Well, you saw Westmore started to appeal until he saw that the officials, they had changed it on their own, that the ball went out on Stanford, and the ball goes back to White.
And it was indeed the right call as it looked to ricochet off of Ichiwoye's leg or foot last. Moving through is Brooks. Brooks is fouled. And this is Apollo, who picks up her first personal foul. Second team foul for the Cardinal. Zoe Brooks, when you watch her play on the court, she brings a ton of confidence and swagger to this Wolfpack crew. Plainfield, New Jersey. Well, folks, we're so excited about this because Saturday night, January 10th, freshman phenom Caleb Wilson and 12th-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels host Wake Forest at Dean Smith Center on 6th, and immediately following a documentary debuting and chronicling that 93 championship led by Smith. You'll get to see all kinds of great footage never seen before right here on the ACC Network and the ACC app. 4-point advantage for the home team. NC State. And Aguera brings them within 2. Nunu Aguera, who's got 12 points so far tonight, paces the way with all scores on the floor. Preseason All-ACC selection after second team a year ago. Inside to Trieger. Trieger, great position, turns around, leaves it in. The 6'6" sophomore out of Stockholm, Sweden, steals it away. And on the break, there's Brooks. Got him. Final minute of the first half. A 6-point advantage for NC State. And the Wolfpack faithful getting behind their team, currently undefeated in ACC play. This is one of 7 sellouts expected this season.
You got to expect that. NC State going to hold for the last shot. High ball screen and let Zoe Brooks go to work.
Brooks looks to get downhill. Tough shot and take no. And good defense there. Stanford could get the last shot from half court. And the ball was off the mark. Well, NC State ends strong to close out and withstanding that early surge to start the second quarter from Stanford. 15 points off of 9 Cardinal turnovers this half. And the Wolfpack with Zoe Brooks leading the way with 8 points. Our score 32-26 coming up after the break. Kelsey Riggs Cup, Kelly Gramlich, and Kai Crutchfield in the studio to talk about their New Year's resolutions and more. We welcome you back to ACC Network Basketball presented by Ally, back here at James C. Arena at Reynolds Coliseum. At the half, NC State with a 6-point lead over Stanford. We say hello and welcome you back courtside once again. Happy New Year, Carolyn Peck, Tiffany Green, and I'm just going to ask you real quickly, partner, your New Year's resolution.
My New Year's resolution, I'm going to do a better job of trying to move every day for at least 20 minutes. Got to get that exercise. How about you?
I'm going to try to get right, get tight. That's all I'm going to try to do. Meanwhile, when you look at these two programs, we had the opportunity to talk to both Westmore and Kate Pay about what they would like to do and see for their teams and their New Year's resolutions. For Stanford, be more consistent.
Absolutely. And then for NC State, Westmore talked about he wanted to get better every day. And I think he's done so. I think one of the areas to get better has has started today, and that's been balanced. It's not been so much guard-oriented, but the posts have been able to contribute. And when you look at what Maddie Cox and Tilda Trigger have done, they've combined for 13 points, and that's when NC State has been able to make their runs, is when their posts have been able to contribute on the offensive end.
Well, Tilda Trigger, Maddie Cox, who have been great on the other side. It's been all Nunu Agera for the Cardinals.
Well, and this Stanford team has been a team that has had a lot of balance, and so far tonight, they've not been the most consistent. It's only been Nunu Agera who is in double figures, and she's done it in a number of different ways, inside and out and on the glass, but they're going to have to get contribution from somebody else to get themselves back in this game.
Who's going to get revved up for the Cardinal? My man is ready for 2026, glasses and all. We see you, player. Points off the turnovers, an area where NC State has capitalized. 15 points scored there. And you mentioned for Nunu Agera, again, missing Chloe Clardy off the bench.
And I think that has contributed to Stanford having 9 turnovers, and that's led to NC State's 15 points. Stanford's going to have to settle in. They got to take care of the basketball and chip away from this Wolfpack lead.
And I love the continuing conversation that we had with Wes Moore, just about, very simply, he said, get better every day. Well, what does that look like, and how do you do that? Yeah, obviously, when you're coming in the gym and getting ready for a game, but also when you're not.
Well, I think it's taking coaching and understanding, look, you got to play as a team. And he talked about how, it's going to find that balance between the guards and posts, but he also talked about getting better when you're off. They had 6 days off, and so you got to rest, you got to recover so that you're ready to attack this ACC season.
Zoe Brooks snatched it away and running off the mark. Half the glass to follow over to Haley Swain, and Swain loses the handle momentarily. Jones, who got a hand on it, scored the first bucket of this second half.
Stanford really relying a lot on Nunu Agera, and this is who needs to get involved. Shamfai.
Well, Agera just eyeing down the basket and successful in her attempts. 6 of 10 from the floor for 14 points for Nunu Agera.
Well, Agera's a junior, so if there's going to be a leader to step up for this Stanford team, it's got to be your upperclassman.
Meanwhile, you started this game talking about finding the post presence inside and posting up with Camille Pierre, and she puts it in off the glass.
Second and third most efficient shooters for NC State has been Camille Pierre and Tilda Trigger.
Trigger, who's challenging Shamfai, altering that shot, making it difficult at least. And the Wolfpack have it back. Brooks picks up her dribble through traffic. Trigger tracks down Theo Board. Kick it back out. Takes some time. Nice find there. Zan Jones had it sliced away there by Ogden.
The key defensively is you want to try to shrink the floor and keep the ball on one side of the floor. When you let it be reversed, the defense is at a deficit that gives those cutting lanes.
And that's an area of improvement from last season to now. And KK seeing her defense do better, but right there, no answer for Tilda Trigger, the 6'6" sophomore out of Stockholm, Sweden. A timeout taken by Stanford. And Tilda Trigger, who is picking it up, 8 points tonight for the Pack.
The bigs for the Pack have been huge inside. The isolation 101. Stanford's got to find an answer.
Welcome back here to NC State, and partner, nobody knows post play better than you, and you have kept your eyes on the bigs today, and NC State's bigs have delivered.
Well, you look at Tilda Trigger, 4 for 7. You've got Camille Pierre, 3 for 5, and Maddie Cox, she has been perfect from the floor. So when NC State plays through their bigs, their efficiency has been off the chart.
We saw the nice boost off the bench from Maddie Cox. She talked about was 7 points already registered by Cox. And Trigger, she's gotten going a little bit more. How about the reverse layup from Zan Jones? No. The rebound collected by Shumfai, her 9th of the game. And right now, offensively, what is it that Stanford needs to do? You said Aguera has obviously been the primary scorer, but how can others get involved?
Well, they're trying to get so deep in the paint, and the length of NC State, even though Samuels is called for the foul right there. Stanford is playing almost a little bit of a sagging zone, really daring, or NC State playing a sagging zone, daring Stanford to kind of look for those open shots from the outside, and they're not willing to take it. Everything's coming off the bounce.
Courtney Ogden at the line for Stanford. We talked about how strong her play was to close out 2025, averaging 18 points over that stretch thus far. She's been held at bay here today, just 5 points as she makes the back end of the free throw.
Apollo, Swain are going to have to look to take some three-point shots. Kate has been begging those guards to be looking for their shot.
Samuels. And a traveling violation against the junior.
NC State doesn't have to make it that hard. They've been so good at moving the basketball. They've been able to get, whether it be a paint touch or a ball reversal, then the open drive, but you don't want to force it.
Shumfai picks up her dribble. I mentioned Apollo looking to see her be more aggressive. That was one of the New Year's resolutions that Kate Payne challenged her point guard with. Samuels brings it back the other way for NC State. And a foul call against Apollo.
Yeah, Stanford can't get gun shy. They are 2 of 11 from the three-point line, but it doesn't have to be on the first pass. They need to take a page out of NC State's book and getting the ball reversal, making the defense have to shift, then drive it and kick.
Samuels at the free throw line. On that start to get back in the lineup after some strong defense against Georgia Tech. So second straight start for Samuels, 10th of the season. Ogden back to Apollo. Talked about assist to turnover, Carolyn. It's an area of interest for Kate Payne. Still just 2 assists on the offensive end.
Well, they had 9 turnovers in that first half. Stanford did.
They're trying to make it difficult for Brooks. The crossover, pull up, yes! Zoe Brooks, who can get it going at any time. Brooks now with 10 points. Leaped up there by Ogden, no. Shumfai with the rebound. Good defense there from Camille Pierre. The tie-up as both go to the floor. And a jump ball. It's going to be NC State basketball, or rather,
like this read by Zoe Brooks, the defense goes under as Apollo's trying to recover. That gives plenty of space for Brooks in the mid-range. And then these two, I expected them to battle inside. Pierre and Champagne going to the ground, battling for that one.
Get dirty, and Stanford gets the ball after the possession arrow in favor of the visitors. Courtney Ogden picks up, Samuel stays straight up, and Ogden gets it to roll in.
They still are so tough with the amount of length Stanford has inside.
Still man-to-man defense for the Cardinal. Do they switch it up? No. Ijiwoye steals it away one-on-one. She falls to the floor and turns it right back over. Camille Pierre, who didn't even make it up the court, was asking for it. Ogden strips it away. Well, Girls basketball back and forth, great defensive play, and Ogden makes some pay as Ogden now with 5 straight points.
The shot has to be Ogden's first thought. When she caught it, she was looking to make the next pass. If she's open, she's the best offensive threat there is in transition.
Well, Kate Pay says she wants to see more cooking with Courtney, and she was starting to get it going here.
Off the bounce, attacking the bigs inside. Look, she's a major offensive threat. When you open, don't look to pass it, Ogden. You got to pull the trigger. Let her cook.
Saturday, December 10th. Well, Carolyn, you mentioned just the importance of a complimentary piece for the Cardinal in scoring to Nunu Aguirre, and it's been Courtney Ogden thus far in this third.
Yeah, Ogden only had 4 points in the first half. She's had 6 already in this third quarter. Hey, it's New Year's. Who else for the Cardinal are going to join the party?
Offensive foul going against the Wolfpack.
I think it's got to be Laura Chamfai. She's got to add to the offense for the Cardinal to try to trim away at this 7-point lead for NC State.
Chamfai, as we mentioned, McDonald's All-American, came over from Australia. Ogden knows Chamfai corrals that rebound, gives him another chance, already breaking the 11 rebounds that our coach had back in '94. However, stolen away by Brooks. And again, taking care of the basketball was paramount. 6 steals already we've seen, taking away from the Cardinal.
Stanford playing like they're behind. Shea Ejoye. She's going to be aggressive. She was a spark in that Cornell game, really causing deflections and leading the Cardinal in transition.
Got to get it up. Samuels fading away, falling back. No, shot clock violation. Didn't get a piece of the rim. Westmore's group comes up empty, but you talked about Ejoye and just the electricity that she brings when she's on the basketball court. Loves the game through and through.
So she had 3 steals. Look, she's going after it right now. She's picking things up. Number 6 for the Cardinal. Ejoye may be the smallest player, but look how she's getting in there, trying to help the Cardinal get a possession back.
And the sophomore, very fiery. 12 points, the best of the season against Cornell in that win that you mentioned back on December 28th. Oh, wow. The crossover, spin move, great cycle for Zam Jones. Zam, wow.
She's calling for the and 1-2, number 3 in white.
Aguirre defended by Cox. Good defense there. A little kick ball. Samuels gets on the floor, comes up with it. When you watch this NC State team who has had control since the second quarter, they've looked strong throughout. And of course, they have challenged themselves in the non-conference. The fact they have played some tough competition. Zam Jones doing big things.
Just demonstrating the versatility. We talked about the run they made with the bigs, but they've got very capable guards to get it done. And Zam Jones, even though she's just a sophomore, averaging over 14 points a game.
And you talked about it earlier, Zam Jones, who had that big surge late against Tennessee in that season opening win over the ranked Lady Vols. You've got Camille Pierre at the free throw line, who had a great stretch, especially down in Cancun.
The 2 ACC games that the Wolfpack have played, she's averaged over 17 points a game and shooting at a clip of 68%. So she is the queen of efficiency in ACC play so far this season.
points in the last 2 minutes plus for the Cardinal. Ogden, who's had a strong third quarter, puts it up and in. Courtney Ogden, who has just had the hot hand this quarter. Still a double-digit lead for NC State.
Now you got to go to the hot hand. Ogden, number 40. She's in the bottom part of your screen. Come ball screen forward.
Instead, taken away. Good defense going on the floor. Brooks finds Samuels. She keeps the party going. Oh yeah, and one.
On New Year's Day, Kaden Samuels with the steal, pops the champagne cork with the finish and the and one.
And Samuels, who ignited this crowd just now, the junior at the free throw line with her patented Afro puffs at the free throw line.
Look, she ain't the only talent.
Yeah.
That Samuels family. She got a little sister, Cadence Samuels, as well, to keep an eye on in high school.
Yeah, class of 2027. Brother Kwanzi played basketball at Florida Gulf Coast at Georgetown as well. Tough shot there inside for Ogden. It's contested as Samuels finds Pierre. Pierre off the mark. And Samuels once again, a little Energizer bunny for the pack. And the crowd loves it.
Crashing the boards. That second effort is what Wes Moore is looking at. He talked about going back to the New Year's resolution, getting a little better, improving. Kaden Samuels crashing the boards. That's an area you definitely want to see improved on.
And that was the third personal foul on Laura Shumfai, so she goes to the bench. Shumfai, who has such a promising career, but just 5 points so far this afternoon, as Kaishi Noonan checks back into the ball game, giving Zam Jones a breather.
Well, Agara carried the mail in the first half. Courtney Ogden stepped up. Those three, number 3 and number 40 for the Cardinal, have got to be ready to take over.
Ogden, who's just so versatile, loses it there. Again, the defense of the pack and the length making it difficult inside. Speaking of inside, they try to go inside to Camille Pierre, and it's taken away by Guerra, and Pierre commits the personal foul.
Here's what's so hard for Stanford to score is NC State. Look at the bodies in the paint, the rotation. Cox completely selling out from guarding Agara in the corner to protect the paint.
You can't give house enough to Maddie Cox in the job that she has done when she has touched the floor. She has made her presence felt in this ball game. Tried to split through a couple of defenders. Haley Swain.
I think the guards for Stanford are going to dribble too many. Pick up the dribble a little bit earlier when the help comes in and then kick out. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take the shot, but the defense is going to be recovering. You have another driving opportunity.
They're trying to back down Cox inside, left hand, no. But the foul on Maddie Cox. And that's her first personal foul. Another look here.
Dara's so tough, and she's going to spin back, use that left hand. Wasn't able to get the finish, but this is how you can chip away the lead by getting to the free throw line.
We're just 3 of 4 from the free throw line this afternoon, so not many trips to the charity stripe for the Stanford Cardinal. To your point, Carolyn.
Well, and I think that the reason that Stanford hasn't been able to get there as frequently is it's been a gang effort by the Wolfpack defending. And that length, they haven't had to foul, and their missed shots been able to rebound and head the other direction.
Give it right back.
Maddie Cox is ready to run. Showing her guard. The horses, get out, go. If I pass ahead, get on down the floor.
They'll take their time in this set. Find the best shot to be their final possession.
But if it's a drive, look at all the help from NC State that's going to be in the paint.
They had an open flare or flash from Stevenson, missed there. And Camille Pierre comes up with it. Pierre and the Pack have numbers. The show and go from Camille Pierre. Traveling violation, correction, double dribble. And so now the Wolfpack can extend their lead. They've got 3.5 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Westmore.
Stanford picking up full court as Kai Shi trying to put it up before the end of the quarter. Not able to do so, off the mark, but Camille Pierre and the Wolfpack in control after 3 quarters.
Once the tempo picked up in this game, Camille Pierre with the finish. Wolfpack with a comfortable lead.
It's coming from those oak trees. As we take a look at the game summary, and paint points for NC State in favor 24-20. Meanwhile, turnovers balanced there. Courtney Ogden, though, picked it up for the Cardinal there in that third quarter. They've got a lot of work to do in this final period. NC State, who has found success on the boards.
Yeah, if I'm Stanford, I would look to maybe change things up.
Champagny and Pierre fall down, help each other up.
Champagny got called for another foul.
That's her 4th.
You know what I'm saying about Stanford's defense of maybe just changing things up a little bit. Maybe look, give a zone look. Break the rhythm and the confidence of the Wolfpack.
Correction, that foul was against Mimi O'Gara, not Champagny. Ogden putting her head down, no. Champagny, who wrestles it away, maintains possession, finds Apollo for 3, no. And it bounced around, ended up in the hands of Zam Jones, getting out running. Pierre working on Aguirre, trying to put some moves on a little shake, no. The 3 from Swain off the mark. And the possession arrow is going to go with the Wolfpack.
But I like that shot by Swain because you're trying to drive in the paint and score over size. Look, you take an open look from the corner. Sometimes an assist is an offensive rebound. You give your team an opportunity, and so far Stanford's done a decent job on the offensive glass. They have 10 so far tonight.
Neither team a particularly strong 3-point shooting team. Swain, who hasn't had many attempts this season, as Brooks tries to pry inside, does so, gets her own rebound and 1. Well, Zoe Brooks, who was relentless on that drive, followed her shot and put it back in.
And that spells trouble for Stanford because did they call that on Aguirre?
Instead, it was on Ogden, they say. So that's her 3rd personal foul. So taking a look at the picture, got Lapalo, with 3 fouls, along with Champagny, as well as Ogden. And Carly Amborn in the game. Been part of that freshman class traveling violation before it was poked away by Brooks.
And NC State knows that Stanford likes to play off the elbows, so The defense on both corners are really helping in big. When your big has at the elbow, kick to the corner, dive to the block, and then get it back. But get some movement instead of trying to create so much when there's so much congestion.
Tough shot, and Stevenson fouls her on the way up. We talked about a couple of returning starters for NC State, some newcomers in, but no seniors for Westmore's group. And from what you have seen to start 2026, what has this younger team for the Wolfpack shown you so far today?
I think the more balance. And when I say balance, it's more of they've diversified how they score. It's not just guard-oriented, but post as well. And when that becomes more consistent, that collaboration of everybody, this Wolfpack team is going to be a force to reckon with, especially in the ACC.
Again, they've been sharpened in the non-conference. We talked about that season opening win against Tennessee, a 1-point loss to a ranked USC team, then the TCU. Oh, so close in that OT.
Double OT game.
Double OT against
That was a game I didn't want to end. That was a good one.
Trigger was straight up called for the foul as Aguirre tried to put it up. And going back to that game against Oklahoma, and it was an opportunity for Westmore's team to close it out.
They had led. I mean, they've been in charge in the majority of that game, and especially battling with the great Reagan Beers, who's having a tremendous season for Oklahoma.
And then freshman Aurora Chavez as well. And then you look at Jazzy Davidson over at USC. That was a 1-point loss, right? And again, that was an opportunity for this Wolfpack team to close it out. So finding a way when you're in ball games like that to close out your opponent.
Westmore took a lot of onus for the non-conference because he said not only did we schedule tough, we had to travel tough as well. But that's a great way for the team to grow up.
And so they welcome that 11-day break between their last game and this one. Meanwhile, just second year in the conference for Stanford in the ACC. Sizing up, then back out, trying to find somewhere to go with the basketball. Madeira puts it on the floor. And that one is blocked. And what defense there, team defense from the Wolfpack. Kai-Shi Lunan.
That was just solid defense for the complete 30 seconds by the Wolfpack to cause the kick out. And Lunan there to contest, to get a shot clock violation. That's something great to build on for Westmore.
Kai-Shi, who is a fan of Kyrie Irving, swings it over to Zoe Brooks, an assist for the three-point basket. So dad nicknamed Destiny Kai-Shi. Off the mark, there's Trigger. Zam Jones, everybody slowing things down for the Wolfpack. 6 boards, 8 rebounds for Trigger. Zoe Brooks with 16 points. Zam Jones has 8. And again, just everybody getting into the scoring effort for the Pack. No, in the mid-range. They're going after it again. Rolls off for Lunan a couple of times, and then Trigger finally sees it go down. Once, twice, and 3 times the charm there for the Pack.
Kai-Shi, Lunan was trying to make something happen, but Trigger staying active on the glass. And when you look at the improvement that Trigger has made, that jump from her freshman to sophomore season, now averaging in double figures, major impact inside for the Wolfpack.
He had about 6 points averaging last year, had a freshman all-ACC team a season ago, and Treater continue to build on that season from last year and starting off strong in 2026 for the Wolfpack. They have the lead. ACC women's basketball is presented by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Well, for NC State, they have come out smoking in this second half, and in the fourth quarter alone, 11 points, Carolyn, to just 1 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, in the second half, the defense and packing the paint for NC State has been beneficial. Stanford is 4 of 22 from the floor so far in this second half. You're going to watch. When the ball is away from you, if you are part of the Wolfpack, you're going to have a foot in the paint. That rotation is going to be there.
Understood the length coming in from the Cardinal, making sure they make it crowded inside. Eschmeyer and the undersized Zam Jones on the mismatch is able to steal it away. Activity on the defensive end. Yep. Jones lofts it up, leaves it short.
Stanford's got numbers if they take it.
Looking inside to Shumfai and Maddie Cox. Or rather, Tilda Treater going up, and she's whistled for the personal foul. Well, we talked about the improvement for Treater from a season ago, better than 6 points a game and nearly 5 rebounds a game. This year, we have seen a marked improvement.
And I think that those numbers are going to continue to go up as Westmore continues to hunt opportunities to get that balance, to get that post contribution. And I think Treater is ready to answer the call. I mean, you're looking at a 6'6" presence inside.
Just go back, I think, to last year and a big overtime game as the trap there, picking up some full court pressure, breaking it easily as Devin Quigley waits for her teammates to trot back. Maddie Cox pulling a little bit of her back, but that's okay. The offense still clicking as the 3 falls for Quigley. Guerra pulls up from the free throw line. No.
Quigley doesn't look like she's quite right. Grimacing on her face a little bit. She won't come out the night that she's having.
Maddie Cox, who's just been great all the way around. Well, Hezzy right there comes through, scribbles through the lane, and there's Zam Jones again. Zam Jones now in double figures. That's 4 different NC State players with 10 or more points. Shumfai, who was asking for it for 3, no. Treater is bumped after she collects the rebound.
And Zam Jones has just got that wiggle in her game. She put you to sleep with the hesitation, then the crossover to get to the finish.
And Maddie Cox, who we talked about, was not feeling the greatest, had a little pain, was grabbing her side. She takes a seat and a rest.
Maddie Cox finished the day perfect from the floor, 3 for 3, and even knocked down a 3-point shot.
Treater misses the front end.
Trier's working on another double-double. She's just 2 rebounds shy.
She had her first double-double of the season against OU back on December 3rd. 19 points, 12 rebounds. Shumfai, who wants that 3 ball to go down. She's had a couple of good looks, just not able to fall. And a tough shooting afternoon for the Cardinal. 27% overall for the game. And the numbers drop a little bit more from downtown.
Well, without clarity on the floor, Shantai is the second leading scorer, and she has really struggled as well. Only 2 of 13 on the day.
Zoe Brooks continuing to tack on points. A 14-1 run. And get this, Carolyn, the Cardinal coming in, one of 13 teams to not allow an opponent to score 70 points or more. And NC State's at that number today, and better than 3 minutes to still work with. Jones back out to Brooks. Swing it over, quickly, looking. We'll try to swing it back in, and it's going to be Wolfpack basketball with 1.9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. So Adelaide Jernigan on the floor along with Destiny Lumen, the 2 freshmen, along with Mallory Collier, who's on the floor, 42 in white. So she had 8 points off the bench last year against Stanford. Sticks with the pack. Is this group who come in?
I think Westmore wants Mallory Collier to really post and get that call forward inside.
Not able to get the shot off in time. The basket will not clock, and a shot clock violation on NC State. Just a tinge late.
I think they're going to take a look at this one.
The call on the floor is a shot clock violation. The play is under review.
No, I don't think she got it off in time. Quickly wanted that one to count.
Yes, she did. Joe Vasili, Tusasiko Stevens, taking a look over at the replay monitor, and this will likely be a quick call and confirmation.
But I think when you look at this game,
the call on the floor is confirmed shot clock violation.
But the defense for NC State has got to be an area that Westmore is pleased with, because when you're guarding Stanford, it has to be know your personnel. And I think that in clogging the paint, understanding that they were going to drive, playing the percentages, because for a team that doesn't shoot it great from the three-point line, I think has been fantastic. I also like the adjustment that NC State made in having that balanced attack. Yeah, they've got dynamic guards, but they also have fantastic post players, and that balance has been huge for the Wolfpack.
Looking sharp to start the new year as Carly Amborn goes for 3. No. Meanwhile, lessons learned as we talked to Kate Pay earlier today. This is this East Coast swing. They've got North Carolina coming up in a few days. Yeah, everything last year for Stanford was just kind of newness, right? Going to different arenas, different travel schedules. This group got here on Tuesday, adjusted really well. They're prepared for the new venues and teams and arenas that they'll face this year, 8 different ones. But for
last year, Kate Pay, in coming to the ACC, they leave 2 days in advance, trying to adjust to the time change. And she said, these high school players that are coming into college and the travel ball that they have over the summer and going to IMG, they are traveling all over the country, so they're used to whatever time zone. Look, you wake up and play.
You've got North Carolina, who got that win earlier today over Cal, coming up next over in Chapel Hill, then Wake Forest, and then Duke, obviously, going to circle that one as well. The preseason ACC favorite, Toby Fournier and company. So when you think about how Syracuse has played, they're going to make the trip up to Syracuse to face Felicia Legger-Jack. And the Orange, a strong non-conference, look to make some noise in the ACC.
But Stanford's going to have to solve the riddle of if you can't get paint points, where is your offense going to come from?
You saw Nunu Aguirre, who really started things off and had the fields early on for the Cardinal. But the elements of Mallory Collier in her first 2 points of the game. They hope to get Chloe Carney back soon to just add a nice lift, as she would always come off the bench and give them a spark. Just 2 bench points this afternoon. And now 4 with that bucket from Alex Eschmeyer.
Westmore, look, he's got to be pleased with the way his team's starting off the new year in 2026. When you hold the Stanford Cardinals to only, probably under 50 points. Field goal percentage shooting 46, that's above how they shot in the non-conference, so improvement. And that's what he wants to get a little bit better every day. That's his New Year's resolution.
What Westmore is hoping to do is follow up what we saw from last year, share of the regular season title with Notre Dame. They picked up those nice shiny rings during the holiday break.
Oh man.
Yeah. What a great gift, huh? Shoot. Well, just a reminder, but some new faces, new pieces, as it is everywhere. Kaiji Lunan drops in to Bill Pierre. A great addition here, along with a couple of others, as that one is knocked down by Harper Peterson. But just exactly what Westmore wanted to see. Loved the balance that he had on offense. That was on full display here this afternoon. He said we needed to do more of a buy-in on the defensive side of things. They absolutely did that, holding Stanford to 46 points. That's a season low, as the final 74-46. The Wolfpack improved to a perfect 3-0 now in ACC play. The efforts of Trieger with a dozen points, led by Zoe Brooks, Camille Pierre, Sam Jones, all in double figures.
Yeah, I really like the balance of NC State. We'll have Zoe Brooks join us here today. 18 points. Perfect 5 for 5 from the floor, 6 of 13, and also 6 assists on the day. Just another day at the office for Zoe Brooks.
Zoe, let's see if we could give you some love and crown you all with this Happy New Year. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Here, we can do it this way.
We can bam! You gotta accentuate.
There you go. Nice.
Taking in this win today, but how good does it feel to start off the new year with a dub?
It feels great. We got a little break for Christmas, and we had time to just take some time off and relax our bodies, get our mental right for ACC play, and it's always great playing in front of our fans, so I think we had a lot of fun today.
Zoe, you got your bigs involved early. How important is that for you guys this year to have that balanced attack so you don't have to shoulder so much of the load?
Yeah, that's the key. Our posts are playing really well right now. They're shooting really efficient from the field. So, a lot of teams are probably going to try and double them in. So it's really important to get it to them, and they'll always get it back.
You are so crafty at being able to get pretty much any shot that you like. What opens up things for you to do that?
Just being relaxed, and obviously there's a lot of attention on the post, and we have some really good shooters. So obviously that makes my life a lot easier, and it's always fun playing basketball.
You're in a new role this year. You're used to having Sanaya Rivers and Zaza James to carry the load. Now that you've entered ACC play, how have you handled that adjustment?
Pretty well. I'm definitely getting more comfortable being a leader. I'm still working on being more vocal, but, you know, it's always fun playing with these girls. You know, I love them all, and, you know, winning is fun.
Zam Jones, Kaden Samuels, and the whole team coming in. I love it. Taking that energy into 2026. Zoe Brooks, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. See y'all.
Yeah. I love it. Carolyn, we need that infectious spirit to come on over to us and carry us through the rest of the year.
Hey, that's how you start out 2026, with that kind of energy.
An outstanding performance from the Wolfpack at home today. Coming up next, Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. Again, your final in this one, 74-46 for Carolyn Peck and the rest of our great crew. I'm Tim DeGreen saying, we out.